Hello, I'm Justice Graves, and I know I could talk about my campaign, but today we have something much more important that we need to discuss, and that is what's going on with the Department of Education's new proposed regulation, American History and Civics Education, which I've been jumping up and down on this channel for several different videos now, talking about different angles on the situation. Now, when it comes to this, why is this important? If you know anything about critical race theory and critical social justice, you would know that there are different people trying to push it into the public sphere through the education system, whether they be teachers, students themselves, or different outside influences such as different school board members, etc. Now, here's the situation. The Department of Education's new proposal is going to put critical race theory directly into the public square. It's going to put it out into the open, and it's going to prioritize it as a means of quality history and civics education, which we all know is false, and that they are claiming is evidence-based to work on implicit bias training, which we all know is false. Now here's the question. How does this all relate to each other, and how do different things that are going on in Congress right now affect it? Well, we are going to do a very quick overview of the current dynamic and ever-evolving situation that continues to seem to get worse. Now, using a vehicle model comparison, think of the Department of Education as a driver about to get into a vehicle, and they have paid gas money, and they've decided to put gas money or fuel into this vehicle. That gas money or fuel is in the form of H.R. 1814, as is currently in the House of Representatives, the Federal House of Representatives, the U.S. House of Representatives, however you want to call it, also known as the Civics Secures Democracy Act. Now, that whole vehicle is the proposed rule and regulation. That vehicle needs a driver, obviously, which is the Department of Ed, and it needs fuel, it needs money. Departments can't decide their own funds. That power has been secured as only being allowed by Congress. Congress has the power of the purse. And then critical race theory and critical social justice are being put into the proposed regulation. It's going to drive off into the sunset, and it's going to show up at your house, at your children's school. It's going to show up everywhere. So what can we do to stop this? Publicly comment to the Department of Education. The Department of Education, the link to that is in the description of this video. Use principled arguments, peer-reviewed research, and highlight the negative statistical significance of implicit bias training. This is extremely important. If you have not looked at my video yet on evidence-based interactions or about the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965, after this video I would watch first the evidence-based, and then after that watch about the Elementary and Secondary Education Act of 1965 with regards to the following statute citations: 20 U.S.C. sections 6661 to 6663, 6662, and 6663 are the current citations that are authorizing the Department of Education to use or to go through the rulemaking process to make this new regulation to propose funds for critical race theory. That is important to understand. Go through that video if you don't understand what I just said. Now, you can also contact some of the sponsors of H.R. 814. Representative Tom Cole, Oklahoma, the 4th Congressional District. If you're from the Congressional District, you can contact him. If not, that's very difficult. You can tweet at Senator John Cornyn of Texas and his colleague, Senator Ted Cruz. You can also send them messages online. All of that is in the description. And more importantly, spread the word and spread it now. If you want to have principled arguments to use when you're publicly commenting to the Department of Education, I would use, and those channels are linked in the description, ScioSophia's newest video on is diversity training, what is the evidence behind diversity training, and different videos that Dr. Karlyn Borysenko has posted on her YouTube channel. I would also use New Discourse. They have tons of resources on newdiscourses.com and counterweight.com. I would go to Counterweight Media. That is all I have with regards to this situation. That is exactly what I would do. You have to understand essentially what's going to happen is, according to this model, they are going to drive critical race theory into your schools using the Department of Education, funding it with money right now. This is extremely critical to understand. Do everything that I just said. Do it all. Do it all well. Share it to 2 or 3 different friends about what you need to do to stop critical race theory from going on. Will the proposed regulation probably go through? Yes, but we need to slow it down. We need to make them answer the hard questions. We need them to answer them now. We need them to answer them frequently, and we need them to understand that we mean business, that we are not okay with this anymore. Alright, that is all I have for this video. Like, share, and subscribe if you like this content. Thank you, I really appreciate it.